3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, let's check on the noise level. Oh, that's bad, okay. There we go, noise is good. That's as good as we can do anyway in the anti-noise department. All right, hello friends, thank you for joining me again. I just figure I might as well broadcast. Everybody's at home and we're still getting noise. Let's see it. Oh, okay, I've heard this noise before. It's because my microphone fell down inside my shirt. There, is that better? Whew. All right. Hello. So we are broadcasting on YouTube and Facebook. Nobody's watching yet, but hopefully we will. Hopefully we will get a monitor going on Facebook soon. All right, here's my sad tale. Well, let's get official first. This is Daily Art Adventure, number 868. Read it. Moving a Perfect Eye. This March 26th. Coronavirus date. Something. We should have started keeping count on day 1. You know, kind of like star date, kind of like Captain Kirk, right? Instead of the star date, though, it's Corona date. And hopefully, as I said, hopefully I will have a monitor on my Facebook going soon. All right, so I thought, woe is me, I thought I was all ready to start doing it minuscule, but mostly your hands. A little bit down here is unfinished. Quick backstory. I did most of this painting about a year ago. This is my granddaughter, Lake, who lives here in the house with us, with her 3 siblings and 2 parents. And I did it very quickly a year and a half ago, partly without any artificial means of support, without any measuring, tracing, projecting, nothing. Just no grading, no nothing. Just looking and painting. And I was moderately successful. I give myself about a C+, maybe a B-, maybe a B-. And it's been hanging on her wall of their bedroom ever since. Every time I walk by, I go, I need to go back and finish that. Because for one thing, this eye right here was a little bit too far to the left. So I fixed this last week. At least I thought I fixed it. And the other thing that was wrong with it, just a number of tweaks. It was a little bit too hard-edged. And I've fixed that. I'm quite happy with the softness of it now. Let me zoom in here so you guys can see what I'm going to be doing. I'll be spending all of my time right in that little window right there today. So you should be able to see everything that happens except for my color mixing. Once again, I hope to have my a Facebook monitor running here soon. Hey, some good news to you, my regulars, who may catch this later. And something's not right here because it says that nobody is watching YouTube, and in fact, we are watching it. All right. Anyway, so this morning I got it out just thinking I'm going to do finishing touches, and I said, well, you know what? Before I start getting down into finishing touches, let's do some measuring one more time. And I sort of wish I hadn't done it. Because when I started measuring, I'm going to restart my app over here. When I started measuring, I discovered I was off. Now, here's a nifty little device called a proportioner. It's essentially the same concept or same principle as these traditional proportional dividers. Okay, I'm still not getting anything on Facebook. and but I'll keep working on it. Okay. All right. These are great and simple. The problem is if you don't, you can't retrofit a painting using these. You need to use these from the very get-go, from the outset. You can't come in and start using them late. Here's why. So there's center of pupil to center of pupil, and the ratio is wrong. And anyway, so this is not a finesse instrument enough. And I think I'm going to use this later today and demonstrate how to use it, but I can't use it on this painting. So I have to use this that is a little more finesse of an instrument, and I don't know if I want to try to explain how it works. Well, I'll do it. I'm going to do it rather quickly. Let's go from, let's say, from the bottom of her nose to the hairline. Okay, that's one good measurement. So you take one, there's two red things here, and they move back and forth according to how you turn this dial, right? So let's do bottom of nose to hairline. And then, oh, this is already set up for the right ratio. And then you push in this dial, push in this button, and turn it until it's the right ratio. And then once you've got this, one side of this is for the photo, the other side is for the painting, then you can turn it anyway. And you can see because of the way the threads are, it's a very clever device. Not quite as precision. I mean, you can kind of hear the wiggliness because it's made out of plastic. Whereas if it was made out of stainless steel and glass or something, it would be more. Anyway, I'm complaining. Anyway, after a bunch of measuring, I did everything. I did eye to eye, nose, mouth, chin, height, width, everything. I discovered, doggone it, this eye, which I love. Lake just walked in here. Hey, Lake, do you love this eye?
Yeah.
It's beautiful, isn't it? Yeah. Unfortunately, it's not in the right place. Oh no, I need to move it again. I'm hoping to get.
Oh yeah, it's a little bit lower.
No, it needs. You think it's a little bit low? Well, let's look. Your eyes look perfectly level. No, that's okay. Whew. Thanks for warning. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, here's what needs to happen. This eyeball that I love needs to move that way about 1/16 of an inch. Oh, and as you might imagine, that is quite a distressing development. That does not make me happy, right? Good. I have a couple people watching on Facebook now. All I need to do is try to get my own Facebook monitor up and running, which it's not doing yet. Let's see if I can get it going. No, I'm going to restart it yet again. Bear with me just a minute because I'd really like to be able to see whatever you Facebook people are saying. YouTube, we're good. All right. Part of the reason can be, for those of you who are like me, journeymen, if you will, in the art of portraiture. Now, good news, all of this is dry, so I can put my hand right here on the canvas without any problem. As distressing as it is to discover I need to move this beautifully rendered eye, the whole thing, to the right, about a 16th to an 1/8 of an inch. The good news is it's not quite as disastrous as it first seems. Okay, so that's the main thing I want. I hope somebody who needs this lesson, I hope somebody who needs it finds this. And so it's moving to the right. Here's how you do it. There is a formula, okay? And the answer is you take the rightmost part of the thing that you're moving, in this case this eye, you take the rightymost line and you move that first. You move it, because we're going to the right, of course you move it to the right. So let me start doing it. And I'm going to do most of this with irritatingly small brushes, because this is small operation. Now let me hasten to say, even though I'm going to be using small brushes, I'm going to resist the tendency to render this with itty bitty bitty small lines. Does that make sense? I'm going to, or hard edges. I'm still, sorry, I'm over here still messing with my Facebook page, trying to get that monitor up and running. I don't know why it's not recognizing our feed yet. Oh well. All right, so the rightymost, if I can use silly language, is this little dark shadow right there. So I'm going to move it about somewhere between a 1/16 and an 1/8 of an inch to the right. Okay, that's done. See, this isn't so hard, is it? I hope I'm being a little facetious. Now what about the edge of that eyebrow? Yeah, I'm going to move it just a tiny bit as well. Of course, look at the photograph. And with the same brush, I'm actually looking at the photograph, of course, and saying, wait a minute, are there some, besides just slavishly copying or mechanically copying, are there some corrections I should make? Oh, there is. There's a little wedge of light right there. So there, I've actually now suddenly made the painting a little more accurate. Okay, the next, and I'm using silly language, the next rightmost or rightymost part of this eye are three things. The V, the corner of the eye, the tear duct corner, and the top and bottom of those, the crease above and crease below the eye. Okay, they're all about in the same alignment. So I'm going to move all three of them more or less at the same time. Okay, so here I am using horrible control freak grip, and just move it again somewhere between a 1/16 and an 1/8 of an inch to the right. So 30 seconds for you carpenters. Okay, so that's my new benchmark. My new measurement now comes to there. And I'm just taking all of three of those marks and rather mechanically moving them to the right. Now at the same time, I don't want to create hyper hard edges, so I'm going to soften that just a little bit. So one of the things I did like about both of these eyes is I think I successfully rendered them in a soft manner, which is of course very important, especially when you're doing children, all portraits, but especially when you're doing children. All right, what's next? Quite simple. I'm going to use it. Grab a different brush. Is now the gray inside the white of the eye there. It's, by the way, you understand, don't you? It's dangerous to call that the white of the eye. So that's why I didn't even call it that. I called it the gray of the eye. One of the ubiquitous errors, mistakes that early journey portrait painters make. I mean, this is so common. It's outrageous. Is they make the whites of the eyes too white. Now I'm going to make this lighter than it is in the photograph, but it's still a very dull gray. Okay, so I'm just move the white over. Now, next thing, this is really the most important line so far, is the edge of the iris. Right, the colored part of the eye. Lake, let me look at your eye since he's right here. Steel gray, blue gray, gun barrel, blue gray eyeballs. Yeah, that's about what I've got. So I'm okay in that regard.
You
Hello, some person. I have 2 live streams up. I do, one on Facebook and one on YouTube, right? Jack asks a very good question. Could you move the nose and mouth instead? Very good question, Jack. Thanks for asking. The answer is yes, absolutely. But the answer is no, because I measured after I got freaked out and panicked, said, oh my goodness, I don't want to move these eyes. Of course, it would be just as much work to move this mouth, maybe more. But I measured everything, and it seems to me that all of this is correct. It's only this eye that's wrong. So that's why I'm only moving that. All right, now let's finally, the edge. This is be the hardest, I don't mean difficult. I mean, this will be the hardest edge of anything that I'm moving. That's, let me look again at I can open her eye just a little bit wider. Okay, now it's a little weird weird looking because her iris is a little bit too wide on the right, which makes sense, correct? Because I just moved it over. So now let's move over the light part of the iris. And since Lake was right here just a second ago and I was able to look deeply into her eyeballs, I'm actually going to correct the color in this painting a little bit and make it a little bluer than I had it earlier on. Now let's make that soft edge, soft. All right, now, if there's going to be any part of your portrait that is black, and it isn't necessarily, and I'm not making this perfectly black either, although my tip of my brush is in black paint at the moment, but I'm going to mix it. If there's any part of your portrait that's black, it would be, of course, the pupil. All right, so I'm going to move the pupil over. So here's part of what being a little bit obsessive compulsive is a good thing. Being a little bit ticky, a little bit fussy in personality is a good thing, because you want to make sure that you're moving pretty much everything the same. And again, for you carpenters, yeah, it's about 3/32 seconds of an inch. The rest of you don't even worry about that number. Just trust me, that's about what I'm doing. All right, now I'm all the way, I'm over to the, I was going to say I'm to the iris, but the other edge, but I'm not. It's the reflection in the eye is next. One of the things, and it would have been good if I had started a timer. I wish I had. Because, again, when you discover, especially when it's like me here with this eye today, especially when it's a feature that you're particularly proud of, and then you discover it's in the wrong place. It is so irritating, right? Saying, no! That's, you know, the cry of ultimate anguish. Oh, they're both on YouTube. Are you serious? Well, that explains a lot. That explains why I can't seem to be getting something over. Let's switch here. See if I've been trying to get my Facebook up and running. Thank you for that. That is hilarious. Yeah, I'm running 2 cameras, 2 controller phones, and 2 monitors, and a whole bunch of other stuff. All right, now back to the. No, I don't know if you can see, but she's got like a double. The reflection in her eye is twice as wide as it ought to be. All right, that's good. That's because I've repainted it, moving it to the right. Now it's time to paint the iris, which is gun barrel gray, which is a bluish gray, because that's the color that Lake's eyes are. Okay, now it's looking pretty good. By the way, I've been ignoring all of this so far because I think, you know, I'm moving it so little that it doesn't, these curves don't need to be moved. They're pretty much parallel lines. And Yahoo, look at that. In just a very few minutes, that was the point I was trying to make. It's very easy to get dismayed and find that you have to move a feature. Okay, bear with me now. I'm going to try to get my Facebook people up and running. I had 2 feeds going on. There we go. Now I have Facebook up and running. Isn't that just a hoot? All right, welcome Facebook. I can see your chats now. So I'm all the way, just in a few minutes, to the far edge of her iris, which means I'm going to paint, well, that's the wrong color, which means I'm going to paint the gray of her eye, notice, instead of the white of her eye. Now I am going to make it, in my painting, I'm going to make it slightly lighter, brighter, whiter than it is in the photograph, because of course the eyes are a major, in fact they are the major beauty factor in a portrait, right? So if you're going to do anything to an eye, you will want to slightly overdo it, not slightly underdo it. So you don't want an eyeball that is accidentally a tiny bit too small. Does that make sense? Likewise, you don't want an eyeball that's, you know, less color than reality. You don't want to, and it's okay to make the whites slightly lighter than reality. But you can only do that, first of all, after you understand that the universal mistake that beginners make is making the white of the eye too white. Once you've owned that, registered that, processed that, then you can say, okay, but I'm going to cheat it, so to speak. I'm going to cheat the lightness of it just a little bit so that it comes across as an attractive eye. And here we go. I am already hello, Barbara. My commissions are finished. Woohoo! I finished them this morning, Barbara. And I'm ready to start a new batch as soon as I get little Lakey here fixed up. So what's happening now, I hope this eye looks a little bit weird to you because the outside of it is too big, too wide, too long, because I've moved everything up to here. It's already been, in fact, that's a really good, here, let me show you this. Part of this broadcast is I want to encourage myself and all of you, whenever you discover that a feature needs to be moved. My point is, it's not as hard as you think. So I'm all the way up to there with my corrections. And look, I've spent, I don't know how many minutes, and I've spent more time jabbering at you guys than I have painting. And it looks perfect. And it's all been moved up to there. Now, let's get back to work. One of the things I'm going to, again, even though I'm holding my brush in this horrible death control grip, which typically leads to hard edges, right? The death control grip typically leads to too hard of an edge. Are you registering with that? Does that make sense? That follows? That's a real simple ergo, therefore. And I'm being careful not to fall into that trap. Okay, so even though I'm holding my brush in the death control grip, I'm being quite careful not to make marks that are hard-edged. Keep it soft, keep it, and in fact, that was one of the things, I got some fuzz in there, as one of the things that I was so proud of with this eye, the fact that I had rendered it believably and so on. And I think as I get better with portraits, I'll be able to do that even more. Believability without detail, believability without hard edge. Now I'm doing the flesh tone of her eyelid, and her whole eye is done except now it just trails off a little too far this way. So first I'm going to, by the way, Lake is 7 and she's standing here at my left arm. You want to say hi, Lake?
Hi.
She had all her teeth when I took this picture. Would you like a portrait better with your teeth or without your teeth? With your teeth. Okay, good. She's lost 5 teeth now. Is that right? Well, she's been going around here lately saying that when she grows up, she wants to be an artist. And you know what, Lake?
Yeah. Jerry's art room is open. You're doing curbside service, so if you want to, they said you need to call and tell them what exactly you want, and then when I get there, I'll just...
Okay, I can tell you.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, hang on, folks. My wife's helping me here. Yes, 36 by 60 on deep stretchers like this. I almost never buy the skinny kind. You know that. Almost never.
That's a deep one.
This is the deep
Yeah,
kind.
okay.
And they're standard quality.
Okay.
That will make sense to them. Not super duper quality, just they're 36 by 60,
Okay.
deep cotton, if you will. Standard, I forget what brand it's called. That'll do it. Okay? Woohoo! Thanks, baby. Nancy's graciously off. All right, now I need to move the outside curves of Little Lake. Oh, I was saying a lake, I really think you probably are going to grow up to be an artist, which would really tickle me, of course, partly because both of our biological children, we had birthed to and adopted to, and both of our biological children are quite gifted. Lake's mother being extremely gifted as an artist, but she just didn't want to do it. Likewise with our son, very gifted. There have been many times, they're both in their late 30s now, there have been many times after they grew up, I thought, you know what, I think maybe I should have done the medieval thing, you know. The shoemaker's children become shoemakers, duh. Because I think I could have saved them so much, whatever. But anyway, that's done. And they are both successful in their chosen career paths. But anyway, there would be a particular and poignant pleasure for me if, are you listening to me, Lake?
Yeah.
There'd be particular and poignant pleasure to me if Lake, in fact, grew up to be an artist. And she certainly has it seems to me, the raw material, the personality to go with it. Did you hear that, Lake?
What?
I said, I think you can do it. I said, I really think you can grow up and be an artist. And it would be great fun teaching her. We've had a few art lessons, not many. At 7, it's mostly about playing, of course. Okay, while I'm jabbering to you guys about all kinds of things, I have finished moving on. Now, if I hadn't been, again, blathering away to you guys, I think, honestly, that whole operation probably would have been done. I got some fuzz, some lint on that painting. It's weird. Probably would have been done in 12 minutes. I'm guessing something like that. So what I'm saying to myself, honestly, is so let that be a lesson to you. The next time you find that a feature needs to be moved, skip over the weeping, wailing, and gnashing of teeth part, okay? Just skip over it. Even if it was, maybe it's 15 minutes, doesn't matter. Whatever it is, it's been in the big picture of doing a portrait, it was pretty much a drop in the bucket, wasn't it? It was done quite quickly and painlessly, and I just showed you how to do it. So there you go, just in case anybody needed some help. Hello, Brittany Pierce Wells. Good to have you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You know you're in trouble. I was going to say when the elementary school music teacher is watching you, but that's not true. I'm not doing music, so I'm okay. Brittany, we miss you guys. I guess we're not going to get together this week, but when all this blows over, we're overdue for a good visit, aren't we? All right, I have a number of minor things that I am going to do to Lake's face, but I'll do that without a broadcast because I'm going to be broadcasting again later on this afternoon. I've got 3 paintings, 4 portraits. One is a double portrait, ready to start, and I'm very excited about starting them. And so I'm going to bid you a fond adieu. Lake, Miss Barbara says hi to you. Big difference. Do you see it? Barbara, do you see it? Having moved, I do too. Isn't that crazy? Now, just between you and me, now that I'm sitting back, I'll revisit that eye with fresh eyes, if you will, and no doubt make some tiny, tiny tweaks, but the panic part is over. It needs the arch. Well, here, I'll do this since we're still here. Let's do this part. I should have dropped those brushes into my Turpenoid, a little premature. Turns out, because now I'm back to where we always end up with portraiture, no matter how much you cheat, which what I just did was sort of like a cheat, if you will, cheat process. Now I'm back to where we always are, which is painting by eye. Not painting an eye, painting by eyeball, painting by sight. And the arch of her eyelid needs to be raised up a little bit there, and also turns out the crease of her upper eyelid needs to be raised as well. Anyway, so again, no matter how much you cheat, I'll go back to that sentence. In the final analysis, you're on your own, baby. You got to paint with your eyes, and that's part of the reason why, as I say all the time, cheating is legal. You bet, go for it. But don't forget, every time you cheat, your skills are deteriorating. And no matter how much you cheat, you are going to need those skills to finish the painting. So that's why, again, my formula is do as much as you can without any projecting, gridding, measuring, whatever. Do as much as you can, and then employ those cheats, quote unquote, employ them late in the process so that your brain has already had a workout, and you only bring in the cheat, quote unquote, as a rescue operation. And of the 4 portraits that I did, 5 portraits that I did, well, one of them was a dog, so we'll leave that one out, even though I'm pretty proud of my dog. But of the 4, 2 I nailed without any, I feel like I nailed without any cheating, and 2 of them I didn't. Basically the 2 larger ones, the 2 boys. All right, it's better. I need to soften. I keep saying I'm done, and then I keep going. Bear with me just a minute. The top of her eyelashes, and I'm not going to paint individual eyelashes. Usually that is counterproductive. Usually it doesn't work. Even though in the photograph I can almost see with the little boys I was doing this week, JJ and Jefferson, in the photo you could clearly see eyelashes, but generally speaking it's counterproductive. But what I do want to do is soften up that line, mess it up, just mess it up a little bit, so that it gives the impression of eyelashes without actually literally painting them. All right, I am going to stop there. Thanks so much for your company. Thank you, Radina. Yes, I hope the yes, you come in at the end. Welcome. Glad you're better safe than sorry. And hello, Terry, Annette Farrell. Good to have you here as well. All right, I'm going to finish this up a little bit without your company, and then I do another broadcast this afternoon, starting maybe in an hour, where I'm starting 4 new portraits. All right, Lake wants to say hi. Lake, you want to say hi?
Hi.
There you go. Thanks, y'all. Bye-bye.